When Edgar Cayce spoke about vibrations between souls, he revealed something most people never understood about attraction. There exists a frequency, he once wrote in a private journal, a specific vibrational pattern that, when emanated by a woman, creates an irresistible longing in a man's heart. These words, found among Cayce's personal papers sealed until recently, offer a glimpse into one of the most profound yet least discussed aspects of human connection. What if the secret to deep, lasting attraction wasn't about appearance or even personality, but about an energetic resonance that operates beyond our conscious awareness? Edgar Cayce not only believed this to be true, he mapped the precise mechanisms through which these spiritual vibrations function. The manuscript before you represents the culmination of Edgar Cayce's most private insights on relationships, documented during the final years of his remarkable life. Discovered in a sealed envelope within a locked chest in the archives of the Association for Research and Enlightenment, these pages were accompanied by a note, to be opened only when humanity is ready to understand the deeper mechanics of soul connection. That time, it seems, has come. As I examined these yellowed pages, I was struck by how Cayce's understanding of human attraction transcended the physical and psychological models that dominate our thinking today. What follows are the authentic, unfiltered reflections of America's most documented psychic, revealing the energetic blueprint that makes a soul not just attractive, but magnetically compelling to another. July 14th, 1943. I have hesitated to record these observations, as they may be misunderstood or misused. Yet the information comes with such clarity during the readings that I feel compelled to preserve it. There exists within each soul a vibrational signature as unique as a fingerprint, yet far more consequential. When two souls recognize each other's signature from past incarnations, there occurs what modern language inadequately terms attraction. But this is no mere chemical reaction. It is the recognition of a complementary spiritual frequency. The female essence carries within it a particular capacity to modulate this frequency consciously, though few have discovered this ability. When a woman aligns her energetic field with her highest spiritual purpose, she naturally emanates a vibration that resonates with and awakens the spiritual recognition in a compatible male counterpart. This is not manipulation, but harmonization, the tuning of one instrument to play in perfect concert with another. I struggle with whether to share this knowledge broadly. In the wrong hands, it could be reduced to a mere technique for manipulation. In the right hands, it offers the key to relationships built on spiritual authenticity rather than transient physical attraction or social convenience. August 3rd, 1943. During today's reading, I was shown more clearly how this vibrational attunement functions. The physical body itself serves as an instrument, a crystalline structure capable of both transmitting and receiving spiritual frequencies. The heart center, what the Eastern traditions call the Anahata chakra, acts as the primary amplifier of these relationship vibrations. What makes a man truly long for a woman's presence is not her physical attributes, though these may initially capture attention. Rather, it is the resonance between her heart center's vibration and the unconscious memory within his soul of their shared spiritual purpose. When a woman consciously elevates her vibrational state through meditation, creative expression, compassionate action, and alignment with her highest self, she naturally broadcasts a frequency that can only be received by those souls whose purpose intertwines with hers. I'm beginning to understand why so many relationships fail despite seeming perfect on paper. They lack this fundamental vibrational compatibility. No amount of compromise or communication techniques can bridge a gap between fundamentally discordant spiritual frequencies. September 17, 1943. I received remarkable clarity today about the specific practices that allow a woman to cultivate this compelling vibration. The key lies not in focusing on the relationship itself or on changing oneself to please another, but rather on attuning to one's own soul purpose with such fidelity that it creates a clear, powerful broadcast that cuts through the noise of superficial attraction. First among these practices is the cultivation of presence, the ability to be fully embodied and aware in each moment. When a woman develops this quality, she emanates a grounding vibration that provides a sense of stability and safety that men instinctively seek, often without knowing why. This presence acts as a counterbalance to the scattered, fragmented consciousness that characterizes much of modern existence. Second is the practice of authentic self-expression without fear of judgment. When a woman speaks, creates, and lives from her deepest truth, she generates a vibrational integrity that registers in others as trustworthiness and congruence. This authenticity creates a magnetic pull precisely because it is so rare in a world of carefully curated social personas. I observe in my readings how the souls who have shared multiple incarnations together recognize this authentic vibration instantly, often experiencing it as an inexplicable sense of familiarity or homecoming when they encounter each other. October 5th, 1943. The information coming through the readings has become increasingly specific about the vibrational qualities that create this longing response in the masculine energy. I use masculine not necessarily to indicate biological gender, but rather to describe a particular energetic polarity that exists within creation itself. The feminine vibration that most powerfully attracts its complement combines three seemingly contradictory qualities: receptive openness, sovereign boundaries, and creative power. When these three exist in balance, they create a harmonic resonance that the masculine energy experiences as a sense of both coming home and embarking on an adventure simultaneously. Receptive openness manifests as the capacity to truly listen and receive another's essence without immediate judgment or reaction. This quality creates space for genuine connection beyond the superficial exchange of words or ideas. Sovereign boundaries appear as a clear sense of self-respect and personal truth that will not be compromised for approval or connection. This sovereignty paradoxically makes connection safer and more appealing. Creative power expresses as the ability to generate and nurture new possibilities, whether in the form of ideas, projects, relationships, or literal creation of life. This generative force awakens the masculine desire to protect and contribute to this creative process. I am struck by how these qualities cannot be feigned or performed. They must be embodied authentically through spiritual development for their vibrational impact to be felt. December 12, 1943. I've observed in countless readings how past life connections create vibrational pathways between souls that persist through incarnations. When a man inexplicably longs for a woman's presence, there is often a soul recognition occurring beyond conscious awareness. The heart knows what the mind cannot yet comprehend. These soul connections fall into several categories, each with its distinct vibrational signature. Karmic relationships carry the vibration of unresolved lessons and experiences seeking completion. These connections often feel intense and compulsive, with an underlying current of familiarity, despite external differences. Growth relationships emanate a vibration of mutual evolution and expansion. These connections feel simultaneously challenging and supportive, with both parties sensing the potential for becoming more fully themselves through the relationship. Soul contracts vibrate with the frequency of shared purpose and mission. These relationships often bring a sense of inevitability and rightness, as though the connection is serving something larger than the individuals involved. Twin flame connections carry perhaps the most distinctive vibration, that of spiritual reunion with a complementary aspect of one's own soul energy. This vibration creates not just longing, but a profound recognition that transcends normal attraction. I hesitate to document these patterns, as they are so easily misinterpreted or romanticized by those seeking to escape the necessary work of relationship, rather than embracing it as a vehicle for spiritual growth. February 8, 1944. The readings today revealed something surprising about the vibrational exchange between souls in relationship. What we perceive as chemistry or attraction is actually an intricate energy circuit being established between two people's subtle body systems. This circuit, when functioning optimally, creates a perpetual exchange of complementary energies that rejuvenates rather than depletes both parties. The woman who understands this dynamic can consciously participate in establishing this circuit by attending to her own energetic hygiene and coherence. When she maintains clear energy channels through practices like meditation, time in nature, creative expression, and ethical living, she naturally emanates a vibration that signals the potential for this rejuvenating connection. What men ultimately long for, often without conscious awareness, is not possession or control of feminine energy, but rather the experience of harmonious energetic exchange with it. This explains why relationships based primarily on physical attraction or social convenience ultimately leave both parties feeling drained rather than fulfilled. They lack this essential circuit of spiritual energy exchange. May 24, 1944. I received profound insights today about how emotional coherence affects vibrational attraction. When a woman achieves inner harmony between her thoughts, emotions, words, and actions, she emanates a frequency of integrity that registers in others as deeply trustworthy and compelling. This coherence cannot be feigned. It must be developed through the patient integration of all aspects of self, including those parts we might prefer to deny or hide. The shadow elements, when acknowledged and embraced, rather than projected onto others, become sources of authentic power and magnetic attraction. I've observed that when someone has done this integration work, they naturally draw others who recognize, often unconsciously, the wholeness they embody. This explains why some people emanate a magnetic presence that draws others without obvious effort. They have achieved a vibrational coherence that resonates with our innate recognition of spiritual truth. The vibration that makes a man truly long for a woman goes far beyond the physical or emotional levels most relationship advisors focus on. It operates at the level of soul recognition and spiritual resonance. This is why advice focused merely on appearance, behavior, or communication techniques produces such limited results. It addresses only the surface levels of a connection that fundamentally exists in the spiritual dimensions. July 6, 1944. The information coming through the readings has become increasingly specific about the practices that allow a woman to cultivate and maintain the vibration that creates deep soul recognition and longing. The foundation of this practice is spiritual sovereignty, the understanding that one's worth and completeness exist independently of any relationship. From this foundation, an authentic connection becomes possible not from need or lack, but from the desire to share and expand already existing wholeness. Regular attunement to higher frequencies through meditation, prayer, or contemplative practices ensures that one's personal vibration remains elevated and clear. Just as a musical instrument must be regularly tuned, our energetic body requires consistent attunement to maintain its optimal frequency. Conscious management of thought patterns is essential, as thoughts themselves carry vibrational signatures that affect our overall energetic broadcast. Thoughts of judgment, criticism, or scarcity create discordant notes in our vibrational offering, while thoughts of appreciation, abundance, and compassion create harmonious overtones that enhance our magnetic presence. Perhaps most critically, emotional literacy and regulation determine the clarity of the vibrational signal we emit. Unprocessed emotions create static in our energetic broadcast, while emotions that have been fully experienced and integrated add richness and depth to our vibrational signature. I am struck by how practical these spiritual principles are when applied to relationships. The vibration that creates deep soul attraction is not mysterious or inaccessible. It is the natural result of dedicated spiritual practice and authentic living. September 15th, 1944. Today's reading revealed something profound about the reciprocal nature of vibrational attraction. While a woman can cultivate a vibration that awakens soul recognition in a man, this recognition can only occur if he has developed sufficient spiritual sensitivity to This explains why the same woman can be virtually invisible to some men, while creating an inexplicable magnetic pull for others. The difference lies not in her, but in their capacity to receive and interpret the spiritual frequencies she emanates. For a man to experience the full depth of longing and recognition that soul-level connection offers, he must have done his own spiritual development work. This includes healing his relationship with the feminine principle both internally and externally, developing emotional literacy, and cultivating present-moment awareness that allows him to sense the subtle, energetic broadcasts that exist beyond physical attraction. The readings emphasize that the most powerful relationships occur when both parties have independently developed their spiritual sensitivity and coherence before coming together. Rather than seeking completion through another, they recognize in each other a resonant frequency that amplifies and complements their already whole nature. I am both humbled and awed by the sacred geometry of human relationships revealed through these readings. What we often reduce to chemistry or compatibility is actually a precisely orchestrated spiritual recognition designed to facilitate our collective evolution through the vehicle of relationship. The vibration that makes a man long for a woman's presence is ultimately the frequency of spiritual homecoming, the recognition of a soul with whom the journey toward greater consciousness can be shared and accelerated. This explains why such connections feel simultaneously like finding something long lost and embarking on an entirely new adventure. What I've received through these readings represents only the beginning of understanding the vibrational science of human connection. I record these insights not as definitive conclusions, but as an invitation for future generations to continue exploring the sacred mystery of how souls recognize and call to one another across the apparent barriers of individual identity. The heart longs for what the soul remembers. In the subtle frequencies exchanged between two people exists a language older than words, more precise than any conscious communication. When we attune ourselves to this language through spiritual practice and authentic living, we discover that the deepest longing in human relationships is not for possession or completion, but for mutual recognition and shared evolution toward our highest expression. In my years of giving readings for thousands of individuals seeking insight into their relationships, I have consistently observed that lasting fulfillment comes not from finding someone who completes us, but from becoming so attuned to our own soul's purpose that we naturally vibrate at a frequency that attracts those who share our spiritual trajectory. The specific vibration that creates longing in another is not something we create or manufacture. It is something we reveal by removing the energetic static and interference created by unresolved trauma, limiting beliefs, and societal conditioning. Like a sculptor removing excess stone to reveal the statue already present within, the work of cultivating magnetic presence involves clearing away what obscures our essential nature, rather than adding something new. This understanding fundamentally transforms how we approach relationships. Instead of asking, "How can I make this person love me?" we ask, "How can I become so aligned with my authentic self that I naturally attract those who recognize and resonate with my true frequency?" The readings have shown me that the universe operates through principles of resonance and attraction that extend far beyond what our current science acknowledges. Just as a tuning fork will cause another tuning fork of the same frequency to vibrate when brought into proximity, souls of complementary frequency naturally respond to each other's presence, often despite logical reasons to resist the connection. What we call attraction or chemistry is often this soul-level recognition occurring, a remembering of connections that exist beyond time and physical form. When we feel inexplicably drawn to another person despite having just met them, we are experiencing the activation of what the readings call soul memory, the imprint of connections carried from lifetime to lifetime. The spiritual science of attraction reveals that the most powerful way to create lasting connection is not through external strategies or techniques, but through the authentic embodiment of our highest vibration. When we live in alignment with our soul's purpose and values, we naturally emanate a frequency that can only be received by those who share complementary purposes and values. This explains why attempting to attract specific individuals through manipulation or pretense inevitably fails to produce lasting connection. We can temporarily mimic a frequency that is not our own, but we cannot sustain it indefinitely. True magnetic attraction occurs only between authentic expressions of soul energy. The specific vibration that creates deep longing in the masculine energy is one that combines nurturing presence with spiritual sovereignty. This combination awakens the masculine instinct to both protect and serve while respecting the complete wholeness of the feminine energy it encounters. This vibration cannot be performed or projected. It must emanate naturally from a woman who has done her inner work of healing, integration, and spiritual alignment. What I find most beautiful about this vibrational understanding of attraction is that it removes the element of scarcity from our approach to relationships. When we recognize that we are not seeking the one perfect match in a world of billions, but rather attuning ourselves to a frequency that will naturally draw compatible souls into our experience, we can release the anxiety and urgency that often sabotage genuine connection.
The vibration that creates irresistible longing is not a manipulation tool, but a byproduct of spiritual evolution. As we heal our wounds, integrate our shadow aspects, align with our purpose, and cultivate unconditional presence, we naturally emanate a frequency that others experience as magnetic, compelling, and somehow familiar at a soul level. This vibration speaks directly to the heart and soul, bypassing the mind's usual defenses and assessments.
It creates not just attraction, but recognition. The profound sense of "I know you" that characterizes our deepest and most meaningful connections. What makes this vibration so powerful is precisely that it cannot be falsified or manipulated. It is the authentic broadcast of a soul in alignment with its highest truth and purpose. In a world filled with strategic manipulation and carefully curated presentations of self, this authenticity stands out as remarkably rare and precious. The readings have consistently shown that relationships aligned with soul purpose and spiritual growth provide not just personal fulfillment, but serve the collective evolution of humanity. When two souls connect at this vibrational level, they create an energetic field that affects not just themselves, but ripples outward to influence others in ways that extend beyond what we can consciously perceive. I believe that as more individuals awaken to this understanding of vibrational attraction and relationship, we will collectively shift from partnerships based on mutual need or societal expectation to sacred unions based on shared purpose and spiritual complementarity. This shift represents not just a change in how we relate individually, but a critical evolution in human consciousness itself. The vibration that creates profound longing between souls is ultimately the frequency of divine love expressing itself through human relationship. The recognition of the beloved in another that awakens our remembrance of our own divine nature. When we approach relationships from this understanding, they become not just sources of personal fulfillment, but vehicles for the greater awakening of consciousness on our planet. I share these insights with humility, knowing they represent just the beginning of what might be understood about the spiritual science of human connection. May those who receive these words recognize in them the ring of truth that resonates with their own soul's knowing, and may this understanding serve the evolution of love and consciousness in our world. What I've shared with you about vibrations that create soul recognition and longing offers a glimpse into a profound truth about human connection. This knowledge comes with responsibility. The understanding that authentic attraction can never be manufactured through manipulation or technique, but only revealed through sincere spiritual development and alignment with your highest self. When you embody your authentic vibration without fear or apology, you naturally draw to yourself those souls who recognize and resonate with your unique frequency. This is not about becoming what someone else desires, but about becoming so fully yourself that you naturally attract those who complement your spiritual journey. Thank you for journeying through these revelations with an open heart and mind. If these insights have resonated with your own experience or intuition, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I read everyone and find great value in the wisdom of this community. Your engagement through likes and shares helps ensure these spiritual truths reach those who are seeking them. If you haven't already, subscribe to continue exploring these profound aspects of human experience together. Remember, the most magnetic force in the universe is not manipulation or strategy, but authentic being. Your truest vibration is your greatest gift to yourself and to those whose souls are tuned to recognize it.